So Simon, is this the first video game?
This is it. This is the granddaddy of all video games consoles, the Magnavox Odyssey from 1972. This was pre-integrated circuits, so no chips at all. It was all discrete components, transistors and diodes. And this is the most fantastic thing about it, is it came with these screen overlays that you had to stick over the
So you
front
stuck
of your
those to your television?
You stuck those over the television.
Wow.
So they came in two sizes, a small one for your portable television and then a bigger one for the television in the lounge.
Are these the games or are they the controllers?
That's the game's cartridges, so they're just basically printed circuit boards with connections inside, so there's no active components in there at all.
And how did I control it then?
These are the controllers, these fantastic
awesome,
things in wonderful wood grain finish. Not the most ergonomic of devices, but functional.
And so you'd move a character to catch the mouse?
It's very much like the early TV tennis games, the two bats and a ball, and they try to make more of it with these screen overlays.
Sounds like a novel idea. We'll probably see that on a Nintendo console soon.
It was a very novel idea, and this was the first time that people could interact with their TV. This is what we're going to remember. Is before that, you sat and watched your TV. You could actually interact, so this was quite a fantastic development.
Magnavox presents Odyssey, the electronic game of the future. Odyssey easily attaches to any brand TV, black and white or color, to create a closed-circuit electronic playground. Odyssey gives you all the exciting action of hockey and 11 other challenging play and learning games for the entire family. Odyssey, a new dimension for your television, now at your Magnavox dealer.
So where did it go from here? Where did we move on in
me,
history?
these games consoles had built-in games. They were variations on the same theme. The first big breakthrough was the introduction of machines like the Atari 2600.
If you think ColecoVision plays all Atari cartridges...
You mean it can't?
Here's Pac-Man on ColecoVision. But here's Pac-Man for the Atari 5200 Super System.
Now you're talking.
And it doesn't work on ColecoVision.
But won't their adapter?
It won't play Super System cartridges.
Not pole position?
Not this pole position.
Not centipedes?
Not this centipedes. Only on the Atari 5200 Super System.
But aren't they hard to find?
They're everywhere.
Everywhere?
The Atari 5200 Super System.
So this is really the next generation of games consoles.
Keeping the wood veneer though, I see.
It's a wonderful finish, isn't it? This machine was launched in 1977, but it didn't really take off until '79. The reason it took off was this game, Space Invaders.
Classic Space Invaders.
Absolutely.
Where we saw it first.
People could play Space Invaders in the arcades, but this was the first time you could actually play it at home, so sales absolutely rocketed.
Skipped to the late 80s and Sega was dominating the video game system along with Nintendo with its Mega Drive console, the follow-up to its very popular Master System. Cartridge based, it was the first time we saw Sonic, and we've managed to get Sonic 2 on the very simple controller. Have a quick gameplay. The ultimate platform game, I lost many an hour to this game. It was just superb. And that was the Sega Mega Drive. These look like an interesting array of, are they accessories?
These are all sort of, people started looking at different ways of controlling video games. We've got the U-Force, which you could basically wave your hand around and control the game character.
Pretty much like I suppose, a really early Wii remote.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the sort of predecessor to the Wii remote, the Power Glove. So that used a sensor bar on the screen, and so again, you could control your
wear
character.
the glove.
Exactly, yeah.
Sort of Minority Report style.
Definitely a bit sort of virtual reality-ish.
Throwing your hand around.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the laser scope, that was a replacement for the Nintendo Zapper. But you put that on your head, and instead of pulling the trigger, you shouted fire into the microphone. So you look fairly stupid doing it.
And the robot, how would that control you? Okay.
Well, robot, you could actually have that sat by you on the sofa, and it would interact with a game. There's one game there called Gyromite, so the robot sort of interacted and played the game along with you.
Cool. If you thought Nintendo had strange controllers for its games consoles today, wait until you get a look at what this was back in the 80s. The idea was, if you've probably heard of Duck Hunt, instead of using the gun, hey, you have to use your hands. That's a baby's toy. You would plug in this awesome headset, which came complete with microphone and infrared here. Now, you can't see this, but through this glass section here, this bit of perspex, I've got a laser sight which is pointing directly at the screen. And the idea was that you'd point this at what you wanted to shoot and then shout the word fire and it would work. So we've got Duck Hunt here on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the original, and we're going to have a go and see if it's any good. Fire! Now this is pretty cool. The only problem we found though, however, is if I talk, then I've shot too many times and I missed the bird, because it obviously picks up any words you say. Megawatt. See, who would have thought saying the name of the TV show would bring such death and carnage to a poor duck? And that is the laser scope.
So the early 90s, we started seeing some of the 16-bit machines. This is the next generation.
I had one of these.
Yep.
I had one of those at one point.
Super Nintendo. We also started seeing things like CD drives. Up to now, games have been stored on cartridges, and that was a limited amount of storage. CDs open things right up in terms of data storage. In the mid-90s, we had a new player enter the games console market, and that was Sony with the PlayStation.
Right.
And really, they started discovering a new sort of adult audience for home games consoles, and that sort of continued to this day, really.
I can't believe the Xbox was that big and horrible when it first came out. That's massive, isn't it?
It's not very pretty, is it?
So we've seen the exhibition, but Simon has allowed us to get access to the store cupboard where there's plenty of more goodies to find. So let's go and see what he's got in store for us. So Simon, wow.
Welcome.
This looks impressive.
Yeah, it's all sorts of...
what have you got to show us?
We've got a very significant machine down here. This one is...
Okay. It's just a box.
This one's the NextCube. This was Steve Jobs, after he left Apple, produced this machine. On a machine like this, Tim Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web, so an incredibly significant and very rare machine.
So Jobs has been involved with computers and everything, therefore, from the beginning, because I suppose if he hadn't made this, then Berners-Lee would have made the web. And
absolutely, yes. So a very, very important machine.
Wow, okay.
As well as computers, we've got things like this, the first digital camera. So we look at our digital cameras today, and that's the very first one, the Canon Ion, and that actually stored information on a tiny little floppy disk.
And then I remember when I was at school, BBC Micro, BBC Master. Have you got any of those here?
Yep, the BBC Micro from 1981. That's the original.
Ah, that's the thing.
BBC B.
The one I had like an EEPROM thing at the top. Would that have been the Master?
That would have been the Master. That came afterwards. But this is the first one. 32K of memory. Very, very popular in schools, and we're told reliably that there is still one school in Wiltshire that's using one of these. So
excellent.
I'm not quite sure if that's true.
Cool. Now Apple. I noticed we obviously saw the Apple III. Have you got any more Apples?
Yeah, we've got lots of Apples going back to the Apple II. We unfortunately haven't got an Apple I. There are only 200 of those made. So, but we've got Apple IIs. We've got Macs. We've got a beautiful little colour Macintosh there. That's a fantastic machine. iMacs, etc. So we're hoping that these are going to come out for a future.
And what's one of these? What's this? I think I remember this from school.
Yeah, Power PC. So that was another generation of Macintosh machines.
But I remember the gizmo on the top.
This is it's called a turtle robot. This was used with the BBC B. So you basically put a pen in there and drove it around on a sheet of paper to draw pictures. So
yeah, cool. Well, thanks very much. Thanks for showing us around the museum.
Thank you.
And it's nice to meet you.
Fantastic, thank you.
Well, that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Why don't you tune in next time for more news, reviews, tips, tricks, opinions, and much more. My name's Stuart Miles. This is Megawatt TV. Thanks for watching.